like every year, inshallah, this year also I will be celebrating Independence Day with my family. We start the day by singing the national anthem together in the morning. A night before, we generally go out and just drive around to see how the city is decorated with all the lighting and everything. And then we also sing songs together in the car, and we hoist the national flag on our house every year. So it's a very good feeling that we all have. We talk about the stories that I heard from my parents, and I share those with our children, and we talk about the issues that our country is facing. We talk about what can we do to improve the situation in the country, and how can we contribute individually to developing the country. So that's the discussion we generally have in our house, even otherwise. And on Independence Day, it's the right opportunity and the right moment to have this further kind of put into children's minds. So we make sure that we consciously have that discussion. So as individuals, I think we have more than ever, we have a big role to play now towards building our nation. I think after a very long time, the country is on the right track, and this is the time when we have to be consciously playing our role towards betterment of the country by doing small little things. If we all of us start doing small little things, for example, start following the traffic signals, stop littering on the roads, start obeying the law, be respectful to each other, start respecting the minorities, the other gender, for example. I think a lot of small actions can create a big difference. And now, alhamdulillah, I think, as I said, after a long time, we have found a leadership in the country which is steering it in the right direction. So coupled with the small steps that each one of us are going to take, that can bring in a lot of improvement for the nation as a whole. Well, to our youth, I think again more than ever, I always say we are navigating through a very, very complex and difficult world in general, and an even more complex and difficult country in particular. So it's very difficult for our youth to figure out the right direction in the midst of all the unusual things that are happening. For example, the corona pandemic, for example, the new ways of living that we are slowly embracing in terms of remote working, in terms of remote schooling, etc., etc. So we have to be very, very mindful about ourselves, number one, because if all of us individually are healthy, we are going to create a healthy nation. These are difficult times, and it's very easy to kind of get diverted in the wrong direction because of all the confusion that is going on. So one thing which I always suggest, while your IQ is important, but in these times your EQ and SQ are also very important. And EQ, as we all know, is the emotional quotient, and SQ is the spiritual quotient. So you have to kind of build yourself spiritually also to figure out what's the right thing to do in the midst of this confusion that is prevailing all across. What's the right thing to do for you individually, and what's the right thing to do for your family, for your society, and in general for your country. So for that you have to have a very strong what I call a spiritual quotient and a very strong emotional quotient. You have to be you have to show empathy, you have to show collaboration, you have to show respect for other points of view, and these are the things which define a nation. So in these difficult times, especially if we individually start showing all these traits, inshallah, I'm very hopeful we will emerge successful not only from this crisis, but even from any other crisis that we come across in the future, inshallah. Well, to me, HRSG's legacy, when HRSG comes to my mind, and it has always been like that, it's the relationships. The relationships that we are able to build, the engagement, the collaboration that we are able to build with such a large base of clients and customers, that I think remains our unique proposition, that remains a part of our values, and I think that will always be the guiding light for us going forward.